Oh, hello. Many Magic the Gathering players ask the question, is the professor a hypocrite? What? Well, at least I'm worried that many Magic the Gathering players are going to ask that question after this Friday because Wizards of the Coast has impossibly asked me to reveal one of the new Doctor Who Commander decks on my channel, and I very excitedly said, yeah, this is the very first time in my channel's history that I've been invited to reveal the contents of a Commander deck. And it's also the first time in about 3 years that Wizards of the Coast has offered to do, well, anything with me in any capacity. And I've been extremely excited about this because besides Magic the Gathering, Doctor Who has been one of my biggest passions in life. Like, intensely so. But if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I have never been the biggest fan of Universes Beyond. I'd describe it as something I went from opposition of to relative indifference towards, and I even made a video about how, despite my intense love of Doctor Who, I wasn't exactly jazzed about it coming to Magic the Gathering. So, having said that in the past, am I just a hypocrite for making a deck reveal video for Doctor Who Commander? For dedicating an episode of Shuffle Up and Play to the new cards from the set? Should Wizards of the Coast even ever work with me? And when they do, what should my role and my videos be? I actually care a lot about the answers to those questions, and I have thoughts, so I hope you'll hear them out and then tell me, most importantly, what you think. To begin, I think there's a lot of misconceptions that likely stem from people who don't actually watch my videos very closely, or, as I often fear, maybe just look at the thumbnails of my videos and just assume they know what's going on inside of them. The thing is, Universes Beyond wasn't ever something I hated, but it wasn't something that I got off on the right foot with either. When The Walking Dead Secret Lair came out, I was absolutely aghast. I certainly was one of its loudest critics, and I argued, pretty passionately I might add, against it. But those arguments were largely rooted in the fact that these were mechanically exclusive cards being sold online only and for a limited time at that. And while I did indeed have other objections to things such as it being non-Magic IP entering Black Border Magic the Gathering cards, my main objection was to selling unique cards via secret layers. That was the biggest problem that I had with Universes Beyond, and even then, I made clear from my very first video all the way through to my very recent video that I would never, ever refuse to play Magic with someone who used these cards, and I didn't ever want to yuck someone's yum who loved and enjoyed the idea of these cards. As much as I do not like this, I will never, ever begrudge you your own joy, and I will always get games of Commander with you, regardless of whether or not you run these new Magic cards in your deck. Universes Beyond does not change this. I'm happy, people are happy, and I love Magic the Gathering, and I will never ever be toxic towards someone else because of their love for Magic the Gathering, even if they are finding joy in something that I personally don't like. I actually say that kind of stuff a lot. Again, I worry people don't actually watch all of the videos all the way through. If you are excited for these, if you are hyped for these, for the cards, thrilled for the set, in love with the Universes Beyond crossover, then that is fantastic. Simply fantastic. Magic the Gathering is a game, and if you are getting happiness and joy from it, then you are doing it right. And despite my personal feelings about Universes Beyond, I will never, ever refuse to play Magic with someone who is using these cards. I will never, ever give you grief about using those cards, and I will absolutely, in that moment that we sit down to play with those cards, be sure to share in your joy about them. And I expect that everyone else watching this video who maybe is not into these will still do the same. Let's just not be jerks about Magic the Gathering. Oh my God, has no one ever thought of this before? I just thought up something really good. You know, I have a lot of strong beliefs and criticisms about Magic the Gathering, but if you look at the nature of those beliefs and criticisms, they mostly all center around the idea of access. Being able to play Magic the Gathering has been life-changing for me. I'd even go so far as to say it saved my life, at least back in high school for sure, and I want everyone to be able to play it. And to me, a lot of that means access to cards, affordable cards, and what drove me crazy about Secret Lair Walking Dead was the idea of mechanically exclusive cards only available for a very short time and only available online. I felt that hindered access in the long run. Remember, back then, there were no plans to offer in-universe versions of those cards in booster packs. In fact, they had explicitly stated they would not do this. Now, luckily, they did change that decision, and the cards did end up coming to booster packs with in-universe versions. I'm not going to say it was because of my angry video that this happened, but certainly the community speaking up and speaking out and voicing their objections to mechanically unique cards only available and only once available through a secret layer, well, they listened. And when they did listen, I made an entire video applauding them for that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with Secret Lair Stranger Things. If you like and enjoy Stranger Things, get it. If you do not like and do not enjoy Stranger Things, then don't, because there will be Magic the Gathering equivalents of these cards, so in the end, it doesn't really matter. And from then on, whether it was Magic adjacent or not, when Universes Beyond came along, I might not have been its biggest fan, but I always said there really isn't an issue here anymore because they solved the main issue. And again, I thanked them for that, praised them for that, and followed through with that in my videos. Now, this doesn't mean I love Universes Beyond, but in turn, it doesn't mean I don't still love Magic the Gathering. Since then, I have not only given things like the Warhammer Commander decks an A+, I named them one of the greatest things to happen in Magic that year. I really loved the Lord of the Rings base set, but I felt the Lord of the Rings Commander decks didn't quite live up to the Warhammer ones. What I'm saying is that I feel I've been able to engage fairly with Universes Beyond properties. I've played with Universes Beyond cards on Shuffle Up and Play. Gavin even came on one episode and made me a commander deck that was 100% Secret Lair cards, but then he accidentally gave it to Brian Kibler.
We'll have to get a new face of Brian Kibler with the red eyes and then the Secret Lair alert face, and that'll be your thumbnail for the video. New Secret Lair alert!
And Krim even made me a Universes Beyond Commander deck that was so awesome, I fell in love with it. Seriously, I loved playing with it so much I've since made my own. And again, that doesn't mean I suddenly love Universes Beyond, but I feel I can look at complex things complexly, and I feel relationships can grow and evolve. And I also feel I have the right to tease Wizards of the Coast about the Fortnitification or the Weiss-Schwartzification of Magic the Gathering, but if you actually look at those sort of moments, they're done in jest, not a raging, venomous toxicity, but a silliness akin to me reacting to just how many secret layers Wizards of the Coast puts out. And I don't hate secret layers. I have talked about that too. I actually rather like secret layers. I just think, there's a lot of them, and so I have fun with my skits reacting to that quantity. And I also think they should maybe have better quality reprints in many of them. Again, I'm capable of this complexity. When Doctor Who was revealed, I did that video because tons of people were writing and throwing the word hypocrite around a lot because they believed that since I loved Doctor Who, I was going to suddenly say, hey, I love that they brought Doctor Who into Magic. And the video was me saying, yeah, I do love Doctor Who and I do love Magic, but in my heart of hearts, I just don't feel it. Not then, anyway. Now, that video also said that I had total faith in the people developing the Doctor Who cards, that I didn't view this as some empty cash grab, that I knew many of the WotC staff on that development team cared passionately about Doctor Who and Magic. But I said, for me, in my heart of hearts, and count them, by the way, 2 of them, I still wish Magic had just stayed Magic. That's just how I felt at the time, and I am nothing if not someone who tells you how I feel. Then I started to actually see the Doctor Who cards and previews. I saw one in particular that did something unexpected. It got me legitimately excited. It was the Doctor Who Sagas. Each one tells and mechanically acts out a specific episode from each Doctor's run. The art is just stunning, superlative. And Sagas happen to be one of my absolute favorite card types from the last 10 years of Magic. I even did an entire video going on and on about how much I love sagas. You know what? Truth be told, the sagas are what did it. I saw them and I felt legit excitement for what Gavin and his team had developed. And I'm excited to be able to do a preview video again, even if it is just this one. I always loved making my preview videos. If you've never seen them, I've got a playlist of them. I always went all out. No, they aren't negative. Even if I wasn't a huge fan of the card, I'd still try and make it a fun experience, a joyful video. I'd give it my all. Heck, my first preview card video ever was about a pretty a pretty bad Magic card, but I developed a whole skit around it, and it's even the origin of one of my channel's biggest catchphrases. But it says it costs one less for each color, and I named 2 colors, and Is It Charm is 2 colors, a red and a blue, so Is It Charm is free?
No, 1 less colorless for each chosen color. Did you read the card? Reading the card explains the card.
So yeah, I get to preview a Doctor Who Commander deck this Friday. No, I'm not getting sponsored or paid by Wizards of the Coast, nor have I ever been, nor honestly should I ever be, but I guess the question really is it okay for me to reveal a Commander deck? Are people going to tune in to this deck reveal video and see me excited and having fun, and then be angry that I'm excited and having fun and not scrutinizing the price of the product or screaming about the fact that it's universes beyond? I don't know, but I'm kind of worried about that. I'm still going to do an Is It Worth It to Buy about the Doctor Who Commander decks, and I'm still going to be as critical as I always have been. You know, I was asked once by Wizards of the Coast to reveal a secret lair fetch lands, and in that reveal video, I did not offer anything critical because, you know, it's a reveal video. But then, when it was time for the Is It Worth It, I gave my true thoughts. Yeah. Gee, I wonder why Wizards of the Coast stopped working with me. It actually makes a lot of sense. But does the fact that I said that it was not worth it, even though they said I get to reveal it, does that give me any credit that I can both reveal a Commander deck and then, a little bit later, offer an honest critique of it? Does the fact that I don't like Warhammer IP, but I gave the Warhammer decks an A+, does that say anything as well? Should Wizards of the Coast even be working with me on this? Should they ever work with me again? I'm glad that they have here. In fact, immensely so. This has been some of the most fun that I've had making content in a long, long while. I love Doctor Who. I hope that you love these videos on Friday. I hope you can enjoy them as much as I enjoyed making them. And by the way, there's 2 videos on Friday, the full deck reveal and a full episode of Shuffle Up and Play with the Doctor Who cards. A little nervous about that too, but that's, we'll see. I've never done that before. But hey, 10 years and still something new to do. You know, at the end of the day, I guess my final conclusion here is this. Be critical, but don't be cynical. There's a difference between the two. And yeah, this is something that means a lot to me. Doctor Who and Magic the Gathering have been the 2 biggest joys in my life. And I got to produce 2 videos where I expressed that joy. These videos are not me scrutinizing prices or offering criticisms of corporate decision-making, but they're just me having fun, finding joy, and especially trying to share that joy with all of you. That's all I ever wanted to do with those preview videos. I wanted to find fun, over-the-top, amazing ways to just sit back and have some fun within the world of Magic the Gathering. Those stopped, and that's okay. You got to keep moving forward, but I do hope that people can see these videos are just a moment of fun. Those moments are small and few and far between these days, but they are still important. And as much as I am worried people might try and rain upon this, I also hope that many, many others will find that joy too, hearing my insight into the deck and getting to see me and my friends shuffle up and play. If that does sound like fun to you, be sure to keep an eye out for both videos this Friday. I hope you enjoy watching them as much as I enjoyed making them.